We'll start the explanation about how analyzing these cores, space and place has helped in understanding symbolic behavior. And the first one is space as a tool for expression. So this is where I'll show how physical space is used with analogy to represent aspects, as it is widely used by speakers to help to create some kind of form of states of feeling and concepts. For example, the word spaced out in he's spaced out or inattentive, and the word expansive in she has an expansive personality. And here are some analogies of space as elaborated by Enfield in 2003. For example, they are the first one used to represent the characteristics of time. In example, I'm falling behind schedule. And the second one in human emotions, like a happy person is on top of the world. And the third is to relate a single individual in complex concept, like a distant cousin. But then, not all languages take these relationships in similar ways. For example, the future as in front or uphill, like in Aymara, an Amerindian language. The basic word for front is used to mean past, while the word for back is the basic expression for the future. And also, here I'll show the use of space with social distinction and space with the invisible. So first, space and social distinction. Space is used in societies in the whole world to maintain social distinctions that gain solidity when expressed through physical space. The common use of up and down is to indicate superior versus inferior social status. And like as stated by Kiating in 2000, high status leaders, men and women, are referred with a term meaning those who face downwards, while the lower status people face upwards. And social relations are made visible in segregated workplaces too. The rank and file work in cubicles or in group, while the managers have private offices. Space and how it is allocated offers a more detailed guide to status relations than speech in many societies. And then the second one is space and the invisible. So physical space is creatively used to represent the invisible. In Sumatra the Batak, for example, they use space to differentiate between the visible and the invisible. The spirit world is naturally the same as Earth, but activities in that world are reversed so that when spirits go down steps, they climb head first. And then in Pohnpeian feast houses, the deities have their own sitting space, which makes them material, and people avoid passing through the place where they are. And this shows that through space, people make sacred or mysteries of the invisible to us processes of the universe. Moving on to the second one, build space. Here I'm going to explain about how the arrangement of spaces sets up important signal for behavior and expectations. Buildings become social objects to reflect social values, and the built environment organizes systems of relations and is organized by them. The examples that I could offer, the first one is Some of the most spectacular built form, like skyscrapers in large cities, they were made possibly not only through engineering advances but also through transformations in space by communication technology, where the telephone replaced couriers climbing stairs to deliver messages. And the computer is kind of built space too. People use computer platforms to interrelate multiple fields of actions, and also the interfaces of it present users with differently structured spaces. And the third one is private versus public space. Here I will briefly explain about how space have the impact on the change of language and speakers of language. I'll show two cases as elaborated in the book. The first one is how public space is very useful for establishing dominance by showing which groups' rules prevail or more in charge. For example, Hill in 1998 stated that the language used by the elite powerful groups become normal, while with other groups are judged and publicly mocked. Hill shows how in the United States, for example, white public space, whereby white people mock the sounds and signs of what they describe as linguistic disorder in such as African American and Latino speak. Yet when used by the white population, it is ignored. This use of public space indirectly shows whiteness as an unproblematic category, while others as out of place. And then the second one, private and public spaces are related through reframing of what were initially private conversation that reproduced through retellings in more public setting, as stated by Tennant in 2006. It is because of how public space boundaries have recently been affected by communication technologies, and most people have stories of feeling uneasy over hearing intimate, private topics with the combination of private and public spaces, like how conversations that take place in private spaces of the home, when taken public, are usually recorded or typed in ways that show people's attention to public space. Okay, that's from me.